Yeah, well, it's a culture. You've got like lathered in my shoulder, you know. Yeah. Like Hi, everybody. Oh, that's loud. Okay. Thank you for coming. I'm just going to introduce our speaker. This is Joseph McConnell. Okay. He's a native of New York and a graduate of Washingtonville, so I don't know if that was a good draw for anybody. Oh, we got one. All right. There's a couple. All right, the back row. He has been working with the film and TV business at home and abroad for over 15 years. Notable companies he has worked for are NBC, ABC, Disney, BET. I'm going to stop listing them now. Beginning as a driver, he worked his way through the ranks, winning various festivals along the way, and now produces films and commercials for Frame 144 and his own company, Nums Film.
Thank you for coming, everybody, and I just want to thank, before I start, Andrea Sheridan, who's a professor here at OCC, and Tim Sheridan, her husband, in back. He's helping set this up as well. I want to thank the faculty and staff of Orange County Community College, and all of you for coming. So just by a show of hands, how many of you are students? Okay. All right, nice. Now I know OCC doesn't have a like a film degree, but how many of you are in communications, marketing, or anything somewhat to do with film? 12, 6, okay, cool. Do we have any students that are in psychology or sociology? Nice. And any professionals in psychology, sociology, filmmaking? Adult professionals? Okay. Here's the big question. Do we have any sociopaths in these? Sure. We have one. Oh, we have 3. A couple sociopaths. Good. Well, you're perfect for the film industry. So make sure you give me your names and numbers and contact information. I'll put you in touch with someone to get your job. But as I will tell you, sociopaths kind of thrive in the industry, and it is exactly like the old Hunter S. Thompson quote: "A long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps roam free and good men die like dogs." Just a background on myself: I went to Washingtonville, grew up in Washingtonville, and I applied to college through alternative application, because Washingtonville really didn't stimulate my brain functioning. I had terrible grades, but I got into Ramapo College in Mahwah, New Jersey, through an alternate application. I did a short film. From there, I started thriving in classes, and then I joined the TV club and became the president of the television club. And graduated in 4 years in 2004, and that led to my first job working for our current president on The Apprentice. Yes, I worked for Donald Trump, and not with Donald Trump. I will explain that. A lot of people in the industry will name drop and talk all about how they worked with somebody, but most of the time they're just working for that person. Basically, for Mr. Trump, I was a production assistant. I was taking out garbage. I was answering phone calls. I wasn't really hanging out with you guys. So, I'm sure some of you want me to say he's a piece of crap, or some of you want me to say he's an awesome guy, but I'm pretty neutral. You know, when I was in the room with him, he was a pretty nice dude, from what I experienced. But so a production assistant basically is the bottom of the barrel. So just some stories, for example, on that production. The number one story that stuck out for me and has helped throughout my career is taking out garbage. So there was 400 crew members. It was a really big production, one of the biggest I've ever been on, because that was when it was popular and lots of money was flowing in through the production. The ratings were great. I was throwing out about 50 bags of garbage like every hour on the hour. So I go to this trash can with my new garbage bag. Stupidly, I set it down. I grabbed the garbage out, and a crew member was sneakily standing there waiting for me, and just walked right over and poured the rest of his whole can of soda into the garbage can. Looked at me in the eyes and said, "You'll never do that again." And in my head, I'm like, "Wow, thanks, asshole." But I never did that again. So that's just a bit of hazing. It's kind of like, joining a fraternity. In the film industry, if you're the new guy, you're going to get hazed. So some other stories on there, because I started out as production assistant and I stayed with The Apprentice for a couple of years. I moved up to driver. So basically, it was a 9-month-long production. A lot of people were quitting. It's really good money, but you get burnt out on these productions. So one day they came up to me and said, "Hey Joe, you have your driver's license. You're going to be driving these giant trucks through the city." And I said, "I've never driven a truck before, let alone a U-Haul or an 18-wheeler." They're like, "You've got your license. You know what you're doing. You'll be fine." So I started driving trucks around, and then I moved to craft services. Craft services is dealing with the food and the snacks. So for 400 people, when I get the coffee order, you can imagine how big that is for 400 people. So I went to Whole Foods and no production assistant was allowed their own vehicle. I go to Whole Foods just to get the milk for 400 people, which is about 8 bags in each hand, probably 50 pounds each. I'm taking the subways, looking like a maniac, sweating, walking through the streets, because I have 2% milk, low fat, whole milk, skim milk, almond milk, coconut milk, everything you can imagine. And also had the guard sandwiches. That was a big thing. So we would set up in front of the Trump Tower, put all the food out. Hey, Joe, your job today is to guard the sandwiches, make sure it's only for the crew and no one can steal it. So running back and forth between regular people on the street. Hey, can I get that sandwich? No, sorry, it's for production. No. So again, I just want to explain like worked for and not with. There's a lot of bullshitters in the industry, especially for any of you who might want to work in film or any field related to filmmaking. A lot of people will come up to you because you're young and impressionable, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I worked with Bobby. Bobby's a cool guy. I worked with Bobby De Niro. I know him." Or I know Billy. Yeah, Billy Murray. He's great. Yeah, me and him did this thing. And then you kind of get to know those people and like them. Like, yeah, you work with these famous people. Hang out with them. We're gonna have a great time. And it's not like that. You find out that the people who are constantly name dropping are the people you don't want to be associated with, because they are there to use you. There's a lot of people trying to use one another in the film industry and play games with one another. So name dropping is not my favorite thing, and I don't necessarily like to do that. I won't be name dropping today except for one person because that's a good story. The reason why I'm not name dropping is because I have a lot of bad stories and I can't say their names for libel and slander. I don't want to get sued. I don't want my reputation ruined or their reputation. You know, hopefully they become a good person in the film industry at some point. So what does a production assistant do? And do you need a film degree? That's a big question, because film school is very expensive, $40,000, $50,000 for a year. And a lot of people who are eager to get into film think that they need that degree, and you do need that degree if you want to specialize in something. So for example, you want to be a cameraman, you want to be a cinematographer, you really need those specific specializations. But if you just generally have a vibrant love for filmmaking and want to get out there and do it, I would say just get out of high school right away and just go network and work on some student films. Because it is like The Bachelor. Anyone watch The Bachelor in here? I hate when they say this. It's all like, I have this great connection with this girl. I had a great connection with this guy. Film is like that. Film and TV. It's all about connections. You need to network and you need to meet people. And for the production assistant, these are great roles to live by if anyone's going to be a production assistant. It's keep quiet, so speak when spoken to, arrive early, and just obey. You ever seen the cult film They Live? Just obey on the posters, just obey. Don't question anything. They come to you and say, "Hey Bob, go sweep up that poop over there." Don't question, just go do it. Why do they need me to sweep that up? I don't know. The director decided to move over here where there's a barn and they want it clean and we're going to film the love scene there. God knows what reason. So this part is a little boring here. So if anyone has some fun Star Wars video games apps on their phones, now is the time we can text or do that for a few minutes, because I just want to go over the structure of a film. Does anyone here watch the credits of a film after you watch them? Oh, okay. Does anyone has anyone studied film or know what the departments are doing? One, yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So this is good. So production assistants, like I said, that's the bottom. All right. They're very expendable. The producers like to think they're expendable, because I produce now, and I hate that. I hate that people think the production assistants are expendable. Because so many people want to work in film, so they're like, they're a dime a dozen, whatever. Treat them like crap and throw them away. And that's not totally true, because the bottom of the pyramid, that's your backbone. You need those people. You get someone who's really reliable and really good. And, maybe they're not the best at what they're doing, but they're always on time, they're always trying hard. And that's the backbone. And then you have your drivers. If it's a huge production, they just drive. They pick up the actress or actor or camera team, and they come to set, they drop them off, they sit in their car and wait until they wrap, and then they bring them home. If it's a smaller production, you might have the drivers are also production assistants. Then you have the locations department. This is a very unglorious department on film. No one's really going to praise them, but they're very integral to the production. So let's say a writer-director, whoever's in control, comes and says, this scene is in a mansion with a beautiful dandelion field with a white gazebo next door. We got money, but we don't have the money to build a gazebo. We have to find a specific mansion with a dandelion field, with a gazebo, and it has to be 25 miles from where the production office is, in a radius. So get out there and find it. So the location manager sends out their scouts, and they're scouring the town and the area, taking pictures of almost anything. If they find things that are perfect, and nobody's home, they're leaving letters, they're knocking on doors, and they're making more phone calls. Once that location is secured and you go into production, they're essentially a property manager. So the location manager has made all the contracts, and they've made all the deals with the owners and the insurance companies, and they're just sitting there, basically in the office doing work for the next day, but making sure nothing goes wrong. So if the lighting guy comes across and bashes a giant C-stand through the wall, location manager deals with that, calls the insurance, calls the owners, has to pay everybody off. So very important for the production. Then you have the art department. We have the art director, the production designer. They have gone over the script with the writer and director. They're collaborating with the producers on the look of the film. So the art department is, they're doing the building, they're the carpenters, building the sets, they're repainting things. Welcome, Eileen. Good to see you. Eileen Wodenko. Old friend. So you have art department, that's like the scenic department, and so that's also the prop builders. Let's say it's a period piece, and they need antique cars, antique houses. They might want to go to like this in Monroe. I forget what it's called. Scream it out for me now. The one in Monroe, the old village. Museum Village. They need Museum Village. They need an old-timey thing. So the art department's making those deals, making it happen, setting it up, buying these old cars and other things. So then you have the wardrobe department. They are either buying all the clothing or making the clothing from scratch. The wardrobe supervisor, you have the hair and makeup team. If you're doing something crazy like The Walking Dead, you need prosthetics and all that, so they're working well before the production goes on. But hair and makeup, if it's just a regular old soap opera or regular drama, they're just on set, they're making the character look pretty and doing the hair. Camera department, so you have your cinematographer, who's in charge of the look of the entire film. And then he's got his camera team. If it's a big film, he'll have camera assistants, cameramen, DIT guys and VTR guys. So what is a DIT guy? That's a digital ingester. We don't really shoot on film anymore. Only some directors do that. So the digital ingester is the guy who gets the memory card from the camera guys, goes through his fancy computer, and makes a backup of a backup of a backup of a backup of the footage, and makes sure it's all clean and stored properly. If he screws up, he's never getting a job ever again in any department. Because if you lose that, that's, could be $50, $100, $200,000 footage that they just lost. So then you have your assistant directors department, okay? These are the ones that are screaming on set. This is the guy that's going back and forth saying like, you get here at 8:30, you get here at 7:30, you get your ass out of the bathroom, get here. That's the assistant director, high stress level. Some of them are very nice and passive aggressive, but most of the time they're like a Nazi and they're screaming at you and they suck and everyone hates them. But sometimes there's the nice passive aggressive ones who are also really annoying, but they come up to you in a different way and they're just like, hey Joe, it'd be really nice if you came 15 minutes early at 7:45. And I want that actress here to have a big talk. Okay. And I'll constantly say that to you. It's really good. So that's your AD department. They're the ones scheduling everything. They have that stress because they are scheduling everything with every single department. And logistics are pretty mind-boggling. And they've got their assistants, second AD, second AD, and then all down the line who are doing the release forms for the actors and actresses and doing all the union stuff with SAG and after. So your catering department, that's pretty straightforward. They're cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a nice trailer or in a building. You've got your craft services, which we call crafty, and that's like the snack table. They put out candy, the bug spray, the coffee, the fruits, and the granola bars, and the first aid kits, all that type of stuff. Big films, you have catering and crafty. Small films are both lumped together. Production management, so that's getting towards the top of the pyramid. You've got unit production manager or the production coordinator and his assistants or her assistants. And they're doing all the logistics of setting up hotels, getting people rental cars, getting people flights to and from. And then they basically want to show up to get lunch or if something's really, really wrong. So you never want to see the production department on set, and if you hear that they're coming to set, something's very bad. The lighting department, those are the coolest guys and gals on any set you'll ever work on. They are hard drinkers and do lots of drugs, but they are some of the nicest people out there. Like, you can look down upon them for doing what they do afterwards, after the set wraps, but they're some of the coolest people. Basically, let's say you have a director who's throwing a hissy fit and says, I need the scene to look like October 2nd at 4 p.m. in Paris, France in 1978. Make it happen. You have the gaffer, who's the head of the lighting department. He goes, yeah, I got this, all right. He calls his electricians over walkie-talkie. They all start running around. This is where the thing happens on a film set where you stumble across the film set, you're like, it looks like they're doing absolutely nothing. Yes, it does look like they're doing nothing because different components are working at different times. So those lighting guys are rushing around, and all of a sudden, you're in New Jersey, and it's 8 p.m., and it's the middle of December, but voila, it's October 4th at 4 p.m. in Paris, France. So that is where the magic happens. You have the lighting department. They are rough, strong, surly guys that seem like they don't give a shit, but they are like a very important part of the artwork. The grips. So anyone know what a grip is or is confused by the name grip when you see the grips? That's what everyone thinks. They're just bolts. Yes, they do that, but that's not their main function. Okay, so grips are, you know, when you have those nice flowing shots, you don't really notice them. There's nice flowing shots like going towards the character, coming back from the character. And it's not a zoom and it's not the shaky cam stuff. That's what the grip is doing. So there's this big 500-pound piece of equipment called a dolly, and his assistants basically make a roller coaster wrap. They just like have this track out, and sometimes it does some really weird things, but sometimes it's just a flat, smooth surface. They lift this gigantic piece of equipment, put it on the track. The cinematographer or cameraman goes up there with his camera, his or her camera, and the grip is the one pushing it. And they have to be so good that they push it exactly the same way at exactly the same time, upwards of 50, 100 times. Sometimes you have a director who does 2 takes, sometimes you have a director who does 100 takes. So you need a grip who's extremely strong and proficient at what they're doing, because in that case, the grip is going to be sweating like a maniac, but the camera looks beautiful and perfect. So I've got a little quote here from my favorite department, which is the art department. They're also very talented people. Well, it's hard to have a favorite department, but that's one of my favorites because they make some of the best quotes. And the guy that I work with has made shirts that every set he goes on to, he wears this because he gets accosted so many times throughout his career of 40 or 50 years. It's yes, we're making a movie, no, you can't be in it. Because if we're in a town or city, everyone's always coming, hey, can I be in this? Can I be an extra? Can I do this? Like, well, you could have earlier, but you know, we're about to shoot. It's really annoying. So then everyone else at the top of the pyramid, that's what we call above the line. Those are people making a lot of money, writer, director, various producers. Okay, so why do we love film? Just shout it out. Don't feel shy. Why do we love film? Why do we watch films and movies?
Glory, escape. Helps us escape.
Right, escapism and illusion. It's the big thing. Escape is an illusion. We don't want to live in our normal lives. We want to turn on the TV. We want to go in the movies and see something cool, or put on YouTube or on Hulu or Amazon. And that is the lifeblood of TV and film, and has been for the entire existence of TV and film. It's illusion and escapism. And I know from working on films that actors are real people. Some of them are really crappy people too. But for you watching on TV, and myself included, when I watch, Breaking Bad, I love this show. I bet they're all really cool people in real life. Most of the time, go by the law of percentages, probably only 10 or 20% of them are people. But they're just regular people. They've got nice makeup on, they've got nice clothes on, and they have this whole team making this fantasy world where they are the star and they look wonderful. So no one ever questions it in their head and says, if I knew that that person was bad, an awful person, and treat people like that, I would never watch these movies. And that's why there's also lots of paperwork to do. I've had to sign many release forms saying I'll never divulge what happened on set, because no one goes to the movies if you hear these really crazy stories. You have some water quick. So I'll go back to name dropping. So if you're getting into film and television, just avoid the name droppers. If they're name dropping a lot, they're either full of shit or they're very insecure and they want help. So maybe they know all these famous people and work with all these famous people, and they're like, I work with Channing Tatum and Julia Roberts. And you're like, that's great, just come here, I'll give you a hug. I think you're cool anyways, you don't have to name drop. So there is one person who I will name drop, and he is the coolest person I've ever met in my career working in film. That is John Heater, also known as Napoleon Dynamite. He is not so famous anymore, but he was famous for a time. He is a very genuine guy and down to earth, and he's not into fame at all. And he always had time for any fans coming up to him. And he always had time for any task improvement. Since film is run like the military and it's very compartmentalized, you're not supposed to talk to the actors ever. You're supposed to leave them alone. Those are the stars. And sometimes that doesn't always go as planned because people are excited and want to meet their idol from childhood. So I've got this one nice story of John Heater. It was one of the last days of filming on this particular movie. And he was wrapping up at the makeup chair, and a production assistant, who was also a very cool guy, came up to him and said, hey man, I'm really sorry to do this, but my girlfriend had a horrible night. I think it was like her house burned down, her apartment burned down, or something like that. Said, my girlfriend had a really horrible night. Could you just take a picture of me? Or like leave a voice note or something. That would make her day. She loves you, she loves Napoleon Dynamite. And he just turned right around and said, oh, yeah, it's fine, man, just start recording. Just start recording. Okay, great. So he started recording. And John Heater went right into Napoleon Dynamite. And he recorded for like 2 minutes, talking about like how to be positive and things are going to work out. You don't have to worry. And it really sucks what happened, but like pull through and you can do this. And I was standing there watching, and I was like, damn, this is the coolest famous guy in the universe. So that they exist, there are nice people in filmmaking. They're not all bad people. A lot of the people that are really good at getting into filmmaking get so stressed out with dealing with the madness that they give up to and kind of become bad. But what do producers do? There's lots of producer titles. You might watch a certain film like 12 Years a Slave. You might see a producer credit with Brad Pitt's name. You might say, Brad Pitt did everything on the film, he's the head honcho. But that is true and not true at the same time, because there's also the executive producer, the various producers, the associate producer, the co-producer, the line producer. So what does each one of those do? Usually on a big film, it's more kind of set in stone what people are doing because you can't really bend the rules. But on an indie film, let's say under $20 million, the person with the power makes all the rules. So normally the executive producer is either the person with the money or they introduce you to the money. So Tom over here introduced me to a hedge fund who put $20 million into the film. he gets the executive producer title. On some indie film, you might have the actual producer getting the executive producer title just because the guy with all the money or the head or the group with all the money says, no, I don't want to be the producer, you're the executive producer. So that's how things get jumped around. The producer normally is the one that makes the biggest deals. They put it all together, the company's in their name, the insurance is in their name, they're liable if anything goes wrong. So they want to have a good team. They might be boots on the ground, right in the office doing everything, or they might just be delegated. The associate producers, those are like throwaway credits. It could be the producer's little brother, Jimmy, who does absolutely nothing but eat Skittles all day, but they give him the associate producer credit. Why? Because his big brother's producer. Or it could be someone who bails you out. So that happens a lot. Let's say the production was a great location, falls through at the last minute. The owner says, I don't care about the contract, I don't care about this money. It's too much of a headache to sue them and to deal with that. So you run around town looking for a new location. Someone pops up, they give you a great location, they're really nice, they work within your budget, and they're really cool. So the producer might say, yeah, let me give them the associate producer credit. Or it might be someone working underneath the producer. So like an understudy or someone who's like paid their dues as a production assistant or whatever, and they were kind of trying to work their way up to become a producer or co-producer. Co-producers are basically producers as well, but it might be a team, so a couple of the producers become co-producers for the production unit, or they might just be giving help for a piece of the film. Let's say a film is shooting in Newburgh, and they're also shooting in North Jersey, so the co-production might be in North Jersey, so they're handling the North Jersey footage, and the main producers doing the Newburgh footage. So a good example that I really like to watch is What Just Happened. It's a film with Robert De Niro. It's probably about 10 years old. And it's a film, a fictionalized version of Art Lindsay's career. He was a producer, famous producer, and in studio films. And it's pretty accurate to what actually goes on. So I'm going to go into some stories now, after we've got the background of that structure. So my favorite story of being a production assistant, and one of the last times I was a production assistant before I started moving up the ladder, is I like to call it the Patriots versus the Steelers. So we had a movie where the director was a very good and talented, competent fellow. He was contracted to have control of all casting. So that means that the director is in charge of the entire auditions. All the other producers, everyone else involved, the writers, they have their input, but this guy's the, he has the main say. So he cast this film, auditioned, lead actor got the role, agent is happy, yay, actor's happy, yay, it's gonna be good for my career, boom. All right, everyone flies into town, but the special human being that was the producer went to the director. Unbeknownst to him, he didn't know he was going to get fired, so he was going to fire the director, even though he had a solid contract. And he was going to take someone away. He was going to take the lead actor away from being the lead actor and put in his own lead actor, which once the contracts are done, you can't really do that. So there, everyone's threatening to sue one another, and all this crazy stuff is going on, and they're having secret meetings of what to do. And it turns out that the producer has so much money, no one's going to sue them because they can get countersued. And it's tied up in court forever. So the director who's going to get fired comes up with this cockamamie plan, but everyone was on board because they were getting treated like crap from the movie producer. So we were going to make a secret movie within the movie. We were supposed to show up at 8 a.m. We're going to all show up at 6 a.m. We're going to shoot the real scenes, the same scenes we're going to shoot at 8 a.m., but with the real actor who should be the real actor. The lead actor is supposed to be the lead actor, but he's kind of off the project now. But they didn't fly him home yet, but he's still there. So we get there at 6 a.m. with the movie crew, but it's a fake movie crew because we're not really there. And I was in charge of the gate. It was a big area that we were shooting in, probably like 4 football fields long, from the gate to the house and the yard that we were shooting in. And I was in charge of informing everyone knew what was going on. So we were the Pittsburgh Steelers, we were the underdogs, and the New England Patriots were the big head honchos. They always win, they always get the big prize. So I'm there, how's everything going? 6 a.m. Good. No sign of the New England Patriots. Never know when they're going to show up. Pittsburgh Steelers are over there. They're starting to film. Pittsburgh Steelers doing their thing. I can't really see, but I can tell, wow, this is good. I think that actor is really good. The actor who's supposed to be really good. Joe, any sign of the New England Patriots? No. No Tom Brady, no Rob Gronkowski. Nothing. No one's here. We're good. We're all good. 6:30 rolls around. I'm watching. Wow, this is looking good. I have to see what's going on. So I run up, talk to the sound guys. Hey, is this good? Yeah, man, this actor's the shit. He's the best. This movie's gonna be great. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna do this every day. We're gonna come in 2 hours early, shoot the same movie twice. Yes, it's gonna be awesome. Ask every department. Everyone loves him. Everyone loves this guy. Run back to the gate. You know what the Patriots said? No, keep going, Steelers. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the playoffs. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna do it. So eventually, hours roll on. Car starts coming down. Hey, John, it's Pittsburgh Steelers. Are the New England Patriots there? Yes, I can see the New England Patriots. I can see that it's a black BMW down the road. They're coming. Get ready. Close everything up. Okay, we're almost done. They start rushing around, closing everything up. Stall them. Okay. So the New England Patriots come up. Hey, Joe, how's it going? You're usually on set. Why are you over here? Oh, I'm burnt out. Yeah, being on set's tiring. I just needed the day to just be the security guy. Oh, that's cool. So why is everyone here so early? Oh, we just wanted to get on the ball, get it rolling. So he pulls in, and it went well for 2 days. Unfortunately, we were foiled, and sometimes only the New York Giants and not the Pittsburgh Steelers can beat the New England Patriots. There was a rat somewhere along the line, and they found out about the real actor, and all the firings began, and everybody got fired essentially. So God forbid you use the good actor that was fired. And the movie is actually pretty bad. So what are you going to do? I'm not saying these bad stories to be discouraging to anyone who wants to get into film. I'm trying to encourage you to avoid pitfalls and dangers of filming. It is a very fun business. You have a lot of flexibility. You're not going to be like most people with a 9-to-5 job. You're going to work for 6 months. You're going to work for 8 months. You might work for 3 days on a constant basis. 3 days on this, 4 days on this. But you have a lot of flexibility and time for yourself to travel, which is what I do. And I'm definitely not saying this to be discouraging. But you do have to avoid the pervert directors who will hit on everything, man or woman, that is on the film set. Sometimes you have these hedonistic people who just think that they are above the law, because that's filmmaking, you can be above the law. So just a quick little story. This one director was hitting on young girls who were in their teens. He was hitting on older women. He was hitting on normal, high age 30s women. He was actually hitting on some guys too. He just wanted to get his rocks off, to the point where he got in fights with the crew members when he was hitting on the younger girls, because they were others, of course, that are working on the film. And somewhere there's an audio tape of that. I don't know if we'll ever get released, like all those crazy Christian Bale things that we made techno songs into, which was pretty awesome. So filmmaking is very tough on relationships. So I worked as a driver for years, and this is not totally a unique story. I've experienced this several times. So I was a driver for about 3 years, and I was assigned to specific actors or actresses. So on this project, I had one of the lead actresses, and I had to drive her to and fro every day. And one of the lead actors hitched a ride with us at the end of the night, and it's probably like 11, 12 o'clock. It's a really long drive back to the hotel, like an hour. Entire conversation for an hour. The actor trying to get laid. And he's talking to her about, oh, yeah, I'm married, but it's okay, it's all good. I want to be cool with it, and we're all set, it's fine. Like, it's no big deal. Let's just make this happen. Like, we like each other, we have good chemistry. And the actress is also married. She's sitting there saying, like, you're attractive, I like you, you're really cool, but I'm sorry, but I'm married. This isn't cool. So I can't say anything. I'm just a PA. Just sitting there kind of smirking, laughing to myself. So after the hour, all right, good for her, she turns me down. They're both married, by the way. So for him, it's cool. Maybe he is a swinger and his wife is a swinger. That's very cool. For the actress, not so. She's married. She doesn't want it to happen. So the next day, still driving the same actress around. Long shoot, drive her home. It's just her this time. Come to find out that she's banging a different actor outside. So monogamy is tough in film and TV. It's because it's a world of hyper reality, and that's why I put in the flyer that I was going to talk about sociology. Sociology is the study of human society. Film and TV is like its own society within human society. It's very insulated. You could be on a film project for 1 to 9 months. It's kind of like walking into high school for the first time. You walk in, you see the people that you're going to be working with, and then when that project's over, you walk into high school again for the first time. A whole new group of people. And you're going to be with these people all the time, and at least 12 hours a day. So you have these heightened emotions. There's a lack of sleep going on, so there's a lot of coffee and caffeine. Sometimes there's a lot of drugs and cocaine. And there's plenty of alcohol, because people want to unwind. And people don't have the time to unwind like normal humans. They've just worked from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. They want to go home and get drunk. And they don't pass it. So as this goes on, of course, people start forming relationships. And we call them showmances. Married people are cheating and doing this. Single people, who knows, God knows what. Everyone's getting together. They're brief, extremely intimate relationships that usually fizzle out when production is over. And that's because your energy is so high, you're working with these people towards this goal of making magic, making a film or a TV show. And then when it's done, what do you have in common? What do you have in common with it? You have nothing in common. Maybe you'll work on another film together. Odds are you won't bump into them until 3 years later when you have this producer who puts the same team together. So you have this relationship and you end up afterwards fighting and breaking apart because no one has anything in common other than they're really tired and drunk and stressed out, which is sad. So in order to keep relationships together in the world of filmmaking, it's usually good to kind of keep one foot outside of filmmaking. Keep your head in the right place. Like, don't get too involved. Yes, the hours are long, and it's so insanely crazy, but don't get too involved. You're just a person working a job. It's different than something 9 to 5. You keep that headspace, you'll be able to keep a girlfriend boyfriend. So just a story about emotional brutality, because I put that in the flyer as well. Now, as I said before, the assistant director, that's the person you need to respect. Okay? The director usually isn't calling action. The assistant director is calling action. They're the one putting the team in the right place. They're the one getting everyone together and on time. They're the one that has to deal with an actress or actor who sleeps late or who doesn't feel like coming that day. They're the one that has to deal with all that stress. So the AD is someone you kind of want to respect greatly. And as I said, there's the passive-aggressive ones and other ones that get all that. But you kind of have like a love-hate relationship, and you shouldn't really fear them entirely. But it's kind of like having one opposing parent. You won't love them, but kind of be afraid of them. Not completely be afraid of them. So there's this one special individual who was assistant director who used to berate women to tears. And no one does anything at that sense, which is really sad. No one does anything when there's like normal human violations that would happen if you were a professor at college, or if you were an accountant, or if you worked at Starbucks or some coffee shop. Normal things, people would step up and say, hey, stop doing that. But no. The film, it has to get made. We don't have time to deal with feelings and emotions. So this guy used to berate women to tears, whether it be production assistant, makeup person, what have you. If there was a female on set, he was the only person. And then when it got to a point where he felt, in very fine sociopathic fashion, where he felt that he broke them down enough, then he'd start to lift them up. Oh, hey, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean that. The last 2 months of what I was doing. You're good, you're really good. And then he would end up sleeping with lots of these women because it was like the artificial Stockholm syndrome in the film. That they learn to love their captor. Who was the AV department. It's very sad. I do have a good story that he got fired on production Amazon, so. But he's still working. Hopefully someone's gonna, get him finished one day. So that goes into normal rules vanish. Normal rules just vanish on film sets, and why? Why do society's rules just vanish on a film set? Well, the need for certain people on the crew. Lots of these positions, these people are making a lot of money. And a lot of the times, you're shooting in a location that's kind of remote. It's expensive to shoot in a big city. It's really expensive to shoot in New York City, expensive to shoot in London. So you're going to go out into the country, you're going to go an hour away from big cities, and you're going to look for your crew, depending on your budget. So just an example, the location manager is getting $850 a day, and they're the only one around. They're not usually dealing on set so much. They're like in their own little world, so I use an example of the lighting guy. This gaffer is the only one around who's making over $1,000 a day, but that's the best rate, and that's within the budget. And no one else is available because they're in LA, or they're in Albuquerque, or they're down in Florida or New Orleans shooting something. He's the only guy, so you got to deal with him. And he's going to bend the rules because he can. The producer's going to yell at him and give him crap, but there's going to be cocaine all over the hotel room every day. The maids cleaning up are going to be like, WTF? What's going on? How do I report this guy? He's going to be showing up to set drunk and just stumbling around. It's not just the lighting guys. I know it's the big ones that do the drugs. It could be any department, could be an actor. So you just got to deal with it. That's how it goes. You got a 50 million production or 20 million production. It's a lot of money on the line. You just got to deal with those things. Money and prestige for the local government is also a big thing why the rules get bent. Okay, a film's coming to town, they're bringing in 10 million. A lot of that money's going to crew members who are working, but they're going to be patronizing the local restaurants and bars and shops for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, however long the film is going on. So the local government says, yeah, we need these guys. Like, you got to be a little lenient on them. So this is not like a singular story. Like this happens a lot. But I've experienced this one time through discussions with other colleagues of mine. Producer goes out with some colleagues from the set, above the line crew, maybe some of the other producers. Goes and gets wasted, drinks a lot, drinks way too much. Doesn't have a production assistant driving home, or doesn't call the driver, it's late. He just drives back to his hotel, he gets pulled over, and he schmoozes his way. Nothing, no ticket, no warning, no nothing. Oh, you're the producer, you brought so much money to town. The mayor called us, said, not to give you a right time. So, unfortunately, these things happen. Fortunately, but unfortunately. A lot of people on film sets like kind of live in their own world and like, oh my God, I can do whatever I want. And they can, a lot of times. So, working in film and TV, it's like running a mental home. It's as if you're producing, it's as if someone comes up to you with a suitcase full of money, says, Joe, here's $1 million. I booked that mental home, and I told all the people living there what their roles are and what they're going to be doing. Go out there and make it happen. And you have so many different personalities in every different department, and then you just roll them on a ball and put them together and say, hang out all day and all night, all the time for several months, and just make an amazing movie that's going to gross $100 million. Can you do that? It's like an impossible, constant mediation of people being harassed and different personalities, and this person's super Catholic, and this person doesn't believe in God, and he's running around the hotel naked because he feels like it, and he offended this person, and like you have to get everyone happy every single day to go back. Sociopaths, I brought that up before because they thrive in this environment. It's like a fun game for them. Life is like a video game for them. You know, the people aren't real. I just play them like pawns. Put them over here. It's very easy for them to use each other and climb the ladder, and it's like fun for them. So that's why there's so many maniacs, liars, cheats, for life and film. And then there's a lot of decent people who are super talented, like good people that are super talented, and they kind of get bogged down. And, if 80% of people are mad, you don't really notice the 20% of people that are really good and talented. I mean, you do when you watch a movie, you watch some great TV show, but if only, well, there's 12 of you are watching the credits, all that work, all those people are on there. So what do I do now? Andrea said before, I produce commercials, and I have started producing independent films. I still work in locations as a location manager and production assistant. So anyone wanting to get into film or TV here, starting at the bottom of the barrel, you're going to make the least amount of money in film, unless it's a big production. The least, it goes by day rate, usually 100, 150, 200, upwards of that. Then it goes to TV, you'll get a better rate, and then commercials, you get the best rate. It's just how it goes. You know, I never wonder why the Super Bowl grosses so much money, because those commercials cost a lot of money. Where's that money going to? It's people like me and other workers and stuff. This film, you might be making 200 a day on a commercial. For the same job, you might get 500. Here's my one of my most interesting stories, called Antonio World. So I had a job a few years ago working as a producer for this guy called Antonio. Now he's brilliant. He had a very big ego. He was a womanizer. He was a very, very fragile personality, and his mindset was like in the 1930s of what the world should be. He had like a Napoleon complex and a Woody Allen complex all in one. He thought he was this auteur, and everyone knew who he was, and they loved him, and they should like roll carpets out wherever he wants. But no one knows who this guy is. He's just a nobody with a butt ton of money in the bank. That's all he's got. So why did I take the job? It was a good opportunity for me. You know, you're the producer, you get to make a product. It's really exciting. Like, you get to put this together. It's very fun to be the producer and put that together. So also the money is very good. That's what people do. Money's good to me to do that. So I find out about the script, I read it. It's basically a PG soap opera, maybe PG-13. But he's got a very specific request for the lead actress. She's got to have gigantic boobs, like the biggest boobs in the universe. Like, when he told me what he wanted, I was like, Antonio, this does not exist. I'm really sorry, you've got some weird, I don't know where you live in your head, but this is not real. I needed, Joseph, I needed bigger than double D, bigger than F. I needed the biggest breasts in the world. Great, cool, you're out of your mind, but you're paying me well, so let's find the biggest breasts in the world. By the way, Antonio, is this like, are we even showing nudity? We're not showing nudity. It will be beautiful. We'll have the nice woman and a nice dress, but the nice cleavage. So the rest must be good. Okay, cool. So start putting ads out, essentially looking for boobs. Like, everyone coming back. Is this a porno? No, it's real. I'm sorry, it's not a porno. It's, it is a movie. Like, look at my website. I've done real films. We're just looking for a girl with really big boobs. So we go to the auditions, I start hiring a team with a casting director, and I'm kind of like trying to give him a soft sell. Hey, Antonio, by the way, kind of crazy request that you want. But we've got a lot of good girls coming in, a lot of really good people, very talented as well. I don't like to run an audition like normal movies. I like to run an audition like I sit down with them, we have a coffee, I will tell them about the script and the screenplay if they're nice and friendly. That's how I like to do it. I like a natural person with natural talent. Very good. Natural person, natural talent, Antonio. But this is America. I don't know what country you're from with that weird accent. But in this country, we have auditions. We kind of like, you gotta sit down and, they come in and read some lines. So we set the audition up. First lovely lady that walks in, I wanted this person to be in the film, to be the lead actress. She was super cool, but she was really talented. She didn't have the most gigantic breasts in the universe that he wanted, but she probably had like double D's and she was very tall, like 6'1". And I was like, had fingers crossed. Okay, she walks in the door. First thing he says out of his mouth is, "You're gigantic! What has happened to you? I looked at your picture and your headshots and you were so different. You're gigantic!" And I'm sitting there with the casting director rolling my eyes like, what are we gonna do? Do we just not say anything and see what happens? Or do we have like a lawsuit on our hands? So that's how it goes for the day of auditions. Myself and the casting director walking out like, well, let's roll with it, whatever. He ends up finding someone online who is perfect. Perfect for the film. Happens that she's a porn star. That's fine. I've worked with porn stars before on non-porn pornographic films and some other nice people. This porn star was a drug addict and also a fugitive. So she cannot fly into certain airports. We have to have a small airport away from big cities. And then we have to pick her up, not registered, nothing's in her name. We will pick her up, it will be fine. The charge she has is very small, it's just very silly. We will make the film, we will give her the money, she will use the money to get into rehab. She will go to rehab, not prison. This is very silly. We will not go to prison. We will change her life. We will change this girl's life, and she will be in the film, which is very nice and beautiful. And the music, great, Antonio. The music, super. Who is this porn star, and what are we doing? So we set up a photo shoot and a fitting. She flies into an airport that's away from a major city. That's picked up, comes to the hotel. I was not there. I was in the office. Several states away. Not really, but in my head. I'm in like the furthest part of Alaska. Like, get me out of this mess. So I get phone calls the next morning. Joseph, she's not coming. I'm knocking on the door. It's 2 p.m. She's not awake. We were supposed to start at 8 a.m. I look at the room service bill. She has gotten all this expensive champagne, $100 a bottle. She's getting lobsters, blah, blah, blah. She's ordering all this. And what is she doing? I think she's drunk. Yes, Antonio, she's drunk. She's drunk and she's using you and she's using your money. Why didn't you put a block on room service? Oh, I trust her and she is nice. No, that's not how it works. Just fine, okay, see what we can salvage with this person. By the way, I already sent her in advance for her salary of $20,000. Great, good job. You just wasted $20,000, dude. She's not going to be in the movie. Red flag, red flag. It's like constant red flags. When you go on a dating site or meet anyone and they have these red flags, you're like, no, stop. So it doesn't work out with this porn star. She goes to jail. She gets caught and goes to jail. And her boyfriend, who was with him, I guess, is then trying to get money from Antonio. Craziness happens, so we have to look for a new lead actress. So he and other assistants start scouring the internet. Antonio then found a wonderful person, actually a very cool person. Then he sends me an email. Joseph, I sent you an email. You'll send her this email, and she will be in the film. Finished. She's in the film. Okay, sure. Read the email, and it's like a dating advertisement. There are 6 pictures of him in different positions. It's like him sitting like this, him with glasses on, him near a stone wall, him without a shirt on. It's like, okay, fine. Then I read the email explaining how this is a great film, and there was a script attached, and there's some music that he made. Just because he likes to make music and he thinks she'll be interested. Joseph, have you sent her the email? Fuck no, I haven't sent her. So I go to my assistant, and Antonio told me, don't send it for you, send the assistant, it's more professional. Fine, okay. My assistant, who was very loyal on the film, wanting to do the right thing, she starts going, I have to send this email. He wants me to send this email. I have to send this. And I'm screaming at her, Leslie, for the love of God, do not send this email. It's like a dating ad. Don't do that. I'm going to write an email. I'm going to send it. And you're going to send that. Okay, fine. So I write my email. She sends it. Antonio is thrilled because I lied to him and tell him I sent her the email, and she loved it, and she thinks you're amazing, and she thinks you're the greatest person in the world. So she comes on board. We're making the film. We go into production. As I said, the assistant director is in charge of the production, making schedules. Well, he didn't have time for an assistant director department. He said, no, it's too much money, even though he's got all the money in the world. Because I saw his bank account. So there's no shot list, and we're getting great footage. We're doing awesome. We have a big shoot day. We're at the hospital. We have these, we're downtown. We have the police coverage. We have all the permits. Super amazing. And then he starts getting mad about candy. He comes up to me, Joseph, there are candies on the table, and there's people standing around doing nothing and drinking sodas, and there's nothing. No one is doing anything. They're just standing around, and you have to fire everyone immediately. Fire everybody now. Antonio, there's candy on the table because people need sugar and caffeine, and it's a film set, and there's people standing around because you didn't come with a shot list or a schedule. You said you would, and they're waiting on you. You're the number one guy, Antonio. You have to do everything. Do you understand that? They're waiting on you. That's why they're sitting around you. So, no, it is not this way. It is not about this. These are terrible people you hired. You just hired your friends who wanted to steal my money. It's like, no, I didn't do that. I'm gonna make a good point. So I got this long-ass email in the morning about firing everybody, which I actually had to do, which was bummer. But then I stood up for my team, and at least I got them paid for the rest of the contract. So that happened. Just so happens that in this film, he has a thing with firing crews and having new. So this particular film was 2 crews. I know on one of those films was 3 crews entirely. I don't care about the money, you fire them. Just wasting $500,000. I got it. So a little bit about movie magic. So one of my films was a micro-budget film. Now, people still talk about independent films, okay? In the 90s, that was a thing. Now, independent is really like $10 million and above. I don't care what they say at the Sundance Film Festival. Independent films are like lots of money now. Micro-budgets are $50,000 and under. And then there's studio films, you know, blockbusters like Marvel stuff. So, does anyone remember Snowtober 2011? We had like 2 feet of snow in a couple hours. Okay, so I was shooting one of my micro-budget films. My dad had just passed away a few days prior, but I was going to go into production and trying to finish this film. It was a beautiful October day, and then all of a sudden the heavens open up and we had 2 feet of snow, which made for some really good footage. And that's kind of just like if you're very spiritual, like, hey Dad, thank you. Like you added some value to the production because it looks really cool. So there are those mistakes that happen, and if you go into editing or video editing, mistakes are usually what makes it easy. You know, you want to be perfect. You want to like have this attitude of constant perfection, but mistakes are usually the things that make a movie really beautiful, really possible. Like you have this great scene, this great camera shot, but take 2 is a little jiggly at the beginning. For some reason, it's just cool. You don't know why. Why do we like film? It's escapism. And sometimes these are just cool. These cool mistakes. So we're at an hour now, and I wanted to leave some time for question and answers. So I'll just do a couple more stories. And this is my last story. It's just a guy getting green tea. One of my humbling stories. So one of my first jobs as a production assistant, I was assigned to a specific actress. I had to drive her around. I had to be on her all the time. She was a very cool person. She just had certain requirements. And nothing big, no big deal. But she liked green tea. She always wanted green tea, hot and ready. Fine. So we're shooting overnight. It's a pretty chilly day. We're going to be shooting from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. It's going to hot tea. Great. I'm a tea guy. Green tea man. So we're set. She's on set shooting. I'm here with tea. I make the tea, stand with the tea. Maybe she's going to come down. 10 minutes ago, I dump the tea out, make some new tea, get a new tea guy. Yeah, tea guy. Green tea guy. Dump it out, make another one. Dump it out, make another one. Keeps going, she's going. Maybe she'll come on. She's cool, I like her. She likes me. Then she goes, oh, she's coming over again. Oh, she takes a sip. Oh, she goes back, she's going, all right. Gotta throw the cup out, works it on, make some new tea, goes on for hours. Making tea, it's like 20, 30 green teas. Eventually she comes over, she has the whole tea, she has the whole green tea. Yes. I'm doing my job, I'm the green tea guy. Keeps going on, 2, 3 in the morning, truck drives up, like, ah. 2 wasted guys in there, stick their heads out, I run up because I'm the PA. He said, is Claudia here? Clearly it's an old friend or a late night hookup, but we rented the house to shoot the movie on. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, not here. We rented the house, we're shooting the movie, you're welcome to stay. Blank stare, like total blacked out stare. They just sit there for a while, then they go on, oh shit, tea. I'm back and see tea. Staying there, this goes on and on until 6 in the morning. She's not drinking the tea, she's working. I'm staying there with the tea. And then, you know, your head starts going, because you have all this time to think. You're a production assistant. You're standing there. You do your work, you're standing there. In this case, I'm standing with tea. The 50th cup of tea. And then I slowly start to realize I'm just a guy getting green tea for a girl who's playing dress up for a small percentage of people in the world who will watch this movie. Very humbling moment where you're like, I didn't become the next Stanley Kubrick. I didn't become the next Steven Spielberg, but I'm working in film. And I'm just a fucking green tea guy. It's bullshit, man. So we're just normal people with jobs, you know. We would love a set schedule. Most people in the film world. Some of us do thrive in craziness, as I've said. It's not glamorous. It's just a normal job. It's how we make our living. But it is glamorous, because everyone thinks it's glamorous. So to close this up, your students just always have persistence and patience, and if you're getting into the business, show up on time, do what you're told, don't question anything. It's like the military, just don't ask questions, just do what you're told. I think some of us are going to be going to the Newburgh brewery after this. A couple, some classmates of mine from high school who own the brewery, who will patronize some old classmates, especially for our Washingtonville graduate and back. They are Washingtonville guys as well. So yeah, I do have a couple more stories, but I'd like to, before doing them, I'd like to just open this up for question and answer. Question and answer, so just raise your hand if you have anything. Shout it out. Anybody? You? Well, I graduated in 2000. No, probably not. Not really. I mean, I've worked on productions that you've probably seen that are on Netflix and stuff. I highly doubt that you watched my micro-budget film, Kung Fu Titties, when it was on Netflix. It's not porn. Just a silly comedy. So the ones that I produce myself, I've been doing for small spots like Instagram ads, like 15 to 30 second promos for like bars and restaurants, water bottle company, plastic water bottles. But commercials that I work on that I haven't, like I'm not the producer on, I work on other commercials. I work, you know, anywhere from like Nike or cable TV spots or Golf Channel and various products. Some of them are on TV and I randomly sitting there like, how do I know this? Like, weird looking guy. Oh, yeah, that's the actor from the thing I did like a year ago. It's kind of fun to experience that. But No one else cares. Because they're just sitting there by yourself in your living room. I have been consuming advance, absolutely. That's how I get good stories. But what helps me now is that I have that experience, and I'm mindful now. Like, you know, when you're in it and you don't think about it, and then you don't self-reflect, you're never going to figure out what's going on. But when you're in it and you have that experience, and then you self-reflect, you can go in to the production with a different mindset, and you can say, all right, this is going to be totally crazy, but I'm going to get in there and do my thing, and, you know, I'm going to stay hydrated and try to get enough sleep, and I'm only going out once a night. You know, I'm not going to hang out 7 nights a week with everyone. Try to stay as normal as I can. So that's what helps now. But in the beginning, yeah, pure chaos. I was in there doing pretty stupid stuff, and then realizing, like, I think I'm turning into a crappy person on this film set. I should stop doing this.
What was the longest production that rectangle was good?
So I have small private productions that I've worked on. I don't really like to say that they're necessarily productions. Because, you know, if you have a budget of $1,000, that's kind of like a small side project. But I've worked on side projects like that for several years. But actual productions, the longest was The Apprentice. Because in the early years, when it had such high ratings and so much money, they were going for about 9 to 10 months straight. And then people were getting, most of the crew was getting unemployment afterwards because they knew that they were going to go right back into production. And, you know, the producers wanted pretty much the same thing. So that, yeah, that was the longest one.
What about film?
On a movie, probably about 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks. We're doing a 90-minute film. Most films are like 90 minutes because that's what works in movie theaters. Has a good turnaround. So 90 minutes to, you know, 110 minutes mostly. So those films can be like, you shoot them out in 5 to 6 weeks. And then the director will try to shoot 4 minutes a day, 3 minutes a day. And then it's still goes.
Does knowing the behind the scenes ruin the magic of sitting down and watching a movie or a TV show?
A little bit, yeah. For sure. I've done behind the scenes. And I have some colleagues who do behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, on productions I've worked on, of course it ruins the magic. Absolutely. I look at reviews and ratings of stuff I've worked on, and I go to myself, why does anyone like this pile of crap? Why is anyone watching this? This is horrible. But I was working on it all day, and I know all of the people. And of course, if I see someone who I hate, or I shouldn't say like, it's not good to hate people, but someone who I greatly dislike, because they're not a very good human being, I don't want to watch their film. I don't want other people giving them good ratings. But that happens with films I've made. Like, if I make a short film and put it on IMDb, a bunch of people that I've burned bridges with are going to click #1 on the rating. Give that guy a crappy rating. This stupid film. So yeah, it does ruin the magic. But I mean, that's the magic film. When there's a good film, you're locked in. There's a good TV show, you're locked in, and you forget about it all, even though you're working. You're in there, and it's a pretty great thing. Any other questions? I got a few other stories that are pretty cool.
How did you handle it when you had to fire up?
How did I handle it when I had to fire all those people? Yeah, so that was really crappy. I first went to Antonio, and I told him, look, I'm going to stay on your producer, I'm going to stay on. But I'm reducing my role by like 80%. Okay, so I was doing a lot of different jobs and like really gung ho, and I said, I'm just going to do the bare essentials for you if you're making me do this. And then I kind of just called each person up, like the main people. Cinematographer was the main one. But Steve was the main one who was so jealous of him for no reason. For the reason because he was jealous, because the cinematographer was getting great shots and people were praising him for his beautiful shots because the film was going to look good. But no one was praising him, telling me. No one was saying you're doing a great job directing, so he got really jealous. He was angriest at him. So I just called him up and gave it to him straight. I was like, look, I'm sorry. Like, this is what's happening. I'm going to try to get you paid for your contract. So I'm going to try to get you all your money. You're not going to have a credit. I know, not everyone's just doing it for the money. They want their credit. They want people to see a film that they worked on. It's, we're all artists. So I called him, and then the worst was firing the interns. Part of that group was interns. So I'd email the main intern and be like, sorry, Antonio's a maniac and he's firing you guys, even though you're working for free. If you want to come over and have a beer or something, I'm like, I'm really sorry that I have to do this. So yep. Did I start as an intern? Yeah. I started as an intern. Yeah, that goes into one of my things I was going to do if I had some more time. So good question, thank you. Yeah, I started as an intern. You basically have to do freebies if you want to get into the film. The best way is to work on student projects. So even before I was a student, like when I was 14, 15 in high school, I started volunteering on college projects just to like meet people. Because you never know, some of them become famous directors, some of them become lighting technicians who get you in the business. So I did a bunch of that, and then it's always good to do freebies. A lot of people say, no, stop being an intern on certain projects. It's always good to do them even no matter how professional you are with this. Here and there you might have a really good project or someone who you really believe in that's gone enough in time. You just say to them, hey, like, just buy me dinner. And that'll be fine, and I'll work for you for you. Just buy me dinner, a nice dinner one night, and I'll intern for you. Yeah, I probably like interned, over the course of like 6-7 years. So I got on The Apprentice from the TV club. I became the president of the TV club in Remington, just by it being a small school. And the guy that was the previous president to me, he got a job on The Apprentice. So I called him up after I graduated, and he got the job. Anybody else? Okay, cool. If you want to stick around for 15 minutes, I'm going to tell a couple other cool stories. Okay, sweet. So I prepared a couple questions like to tell myself, just in case no one asks questions. So thank you for asking questions. So, Joe, what was your best experience with a famous person? Okay, everybody. So, my best experience was I was working on this production with this actor, and he was quite famous. And he one day had like, I don't know, he had like a 3 or 4 hour break before he had to be on set. Usually, when they give the PA their orders, you pick the person up and you show up before the producers are going to get you out. And they're going to give you the shit work for the next week to be able to learn what you did wrong. But this guy was just like, hey Joe, let's go to a bar. You know anywhere around here? Yeah, sure. So we just went to a bar and watched football. And that's it. And we didn't really talk that much. Just hung out, drank beer, and watched football. It was cool. And then another good experience was I won a contest and I was on Survivor Man. With Les Stroud, and I adore Les Stroud and think he's awesome. Even though in the comments section everyone was commenting like, this guy never watched Survivor Man in his life. Yes, I have all the DVDs, I've watched them. Sometimes I don't retain knowledge. But I got to meet him, I got to hang out in the woods with him. So it was a horrible experience because I'm in the woods with this guy in the middle of nowhere with no food and a water bottle and a hatchet, and that's it. And It was a great experience because I'm just hanging out with this guy who I watched on TV for like 10 years. And I'm just hanging with him like, yeah, I'm with that Stroud. Hungry as fuck. And we chop a tree down, like, no, I'm bored. So worst experience with a famous person was someone who I was driving to JFK Airport, and they weren't a bad person, they were a decent person. Driving to JFK Airport, and we were already rushing for the flight, and I think the story was that they either knew the owner, the CEO of the airline, or something like that. So they weren't phased, like, yeah, whatever, we're good. You know? I want to go shopping. And we have like an hour and a half to get to JFK, and we're going shopping in Manhattan. And the whole time I'm like, hey, we have an hour to the flight. And it's like half hour from here, if there's no traffic. So that was one of the worst because it was just so stressful with this person who was like bigger than life in their head. You know, it wasn't Tom Cruise or anything, but they are bigger than life. In their head, they're bigger than life. But we got to the airport, they had 20 minutes and they got on the flight and I didn't get in trouble from the producers. And I was waiting for them to call me up and be like, Joe, you're the worst ever. Like, they didn't make their flight. No, they got on their flight somehow. So they probably just texted the owner if they knew him. No way. Like 3 minutes to get them, make them open the doors. And they did. So yeah, back to your question in the back about interning. You do want to intern if you do want to look for production jobs. Mandy.com is good. Craigslist is kind of full of madness, but that you can find some stuff on it. So, production jobs, I think Production Hub is still a good resource, but Mandy.com is good. And intern, do some freebies, and go to schools that have this film program. It doesn't have to be a big film program. If you go to NYU, there's going to be a lot of artsy-fartsy people like, I need you to dress as an mouse and stand in the corner and eat this cheese and we're going to make it happen. No, just go with just a small regular school and work on some projects with people like New Pulse or something. So the last couple minutes, we'll just talk about the cult of Apple. It's really hard to work in film if you don't own an iPhone. I don't own an iPhone, and that's probably why I've been passed up for a lot of jobs. Because I was working in film before iPhones came about, and it worked pretty smoothly. You know, we figured things out, and you know, if you see clouds, the rain's going to come. And I put 2 and 2 together with your brain. But if you don't have an iPhone, they expect everyone to be like, get the Weather Channel app. What's the percentage? When will it be here? What exact time? 3:47. Joe, you don't have an iPhone? No, I don't. I can see the clouds. We'll wait in 10 minutes. Well, Terry over here knows it's going to rain in 10 minutes. But it's a 58% chance. Okay? Well, 10 minutes from when it rains. See, Terry knew. I told you it was going to rain in 10 minutes too. So that's a really annoying thing, because the whole pen thing, like, where's your location? They send you a pen. And it's like, you don't need to spend money on an iPhone, which is planned obsolescence, because 8 months later it's going to stop loading and you provide a new iPhone. But have a normal phone you work on production. It's not that hard to get coffee for people and take out the garbage.
Can you fit your iPhone film on set though? That would be.
Yeah, of course. There have been features made with it. No, I'm not bashing iPhones. It's just you work in film with, you know, they'll look down upon you for not having that. Even if you're super PA and you've been doing it for, 10 years and you have a wonderful record of films that you work on, and you have an Android or a dumb phone, you'll be like, how is it possible? It's like, well, I know how to drive, and I know how to get coffee, and buy people cigarettes. It's no big deal. Last story. This is an interesting one. Be prepared for this if you go into film. So you typically have to go on runs and buy people cigarettes, buy people their groceries. on this film, there was a giant downpour happening. No one was going to get to the grocery store after because they had to extend the shoot because rain kind of messes things up. So I had to go around to, I think it was 40 crew members, and get either credit cards or cash from them, each individually, and get their list. And then go to Walmart and get their groceries and pay one by one. And then I get back to set and everyone's like, what took you so long? It's like, yeah, well, I had 35 orders and I had to pay $10 for it. Here's the credit card for this one. Over and over and over. And then I get back and I will leave you with this insane thing that was said to me by one of the makeup girls. Not that girls are insane, men and women are insane. But it's downpouring still. I had to also buy socks for everybody because their socks got soaked. And I went up to the makeup girl to give her her socks and her groceries. And she said to me something like, what did the cashier say when we bought all these socks? And I was like, I don't know. I think she said, like, why do you have so many socks? And she was like, what did you say? I was like, it's raining. I'm getting it for my coworkers. She goes, well. She had a British accent. I'm not very good at accents. But she's like, well, you should have told me. I'm a serial killer. And I need all the socks to put them down on the carpet because when I get back home, I'm going to find people and slit their throats and blood will spill on the socks. I was like, wow, I really like working with you and it's nice to meet you and I'll be hanging out with you for 3 more months. Super duper. Yeah. So, if anyone has out their notepads or phones, just a few good movies to watch about the background filmmaking, like I said, What Just Happened with Robert De Niro, State and Name with Alec Baldwin, very good one, and Bowfinger with Steve Martin. That one's a little hokey, but that's a good perspective too. And some books. The best book is Hollywood Rules, and that's by Anonymous, obviously because they give you like all the down and dirty rules of working on film, and they clearly didn't want to ruin their reputation. So that's Anonymous, the author, and Save the Cat, that series of books is good for screenwriting. And Hollywood 101 by Frederick Levin is awesome. So yeah, I just want to thank you all for coming. I thought there might be like 3 people here, and I'd be talking to nobody, just my mom and my brother and girlfriend. Not my girlfriend, my brother. So thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you to Andy and I very much appreciate it. And yeah, there's cookies in the back, and if you'd like to come to Newburgh Brewing and have a beer, you're more than welcome.
You have